And now I would like to introduce Cellino, which is Redefining Healthspan through Precision Biomanufacturing. Presenting on behalf of Cellino is Willie Reaves. Welcome to Willie.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Willie Reaves. I'm the head of public engagement at Cellino, where we are building a technology stack to scale biomanufacturing of personalized cell, tissue, and eventually organ therapeutics. Cellino's labs are right down the street at the Engine, and the Engine Accelerator is one of our Series A investors. Aging contributes to a wide range of degenerative conditions like those that you see on screen. There are literally hundreds of millions of patients all around the world waiting for cures for conditions just like these. Now, at Cellino, we want to shift the healthcare paradigm from treating symptoms with chronic conditions to truly reversing and curing underlying diseases. And our vision is to transform medicine to extend healthy lifespan for billions of people across generations. And we do this with autonomous optical technologies to scale self-sourced cell, tissue, and organ therapeutics. Now, we're building a healthier future where you can have bespoke living medicines tailored to you as much as a custom suit made from your very own cells. And the way this process works is that you start with a blood sample, and then we reprogram those blood cells into iPSCs or induced pluripotent stem cells. And then those iPSCs can become virtually any cell type in the body, as you can see here. So there's a tremendous potential to treat, reverse, cure a huge wide range of different conditions. And a couple of other things about these therapies, they are autologous. They come from your own cells. That means you don't need a donor match. You don't have to wait around for years trying to find someone who's a match to you. And this really opens up the opportunity and the window for a maximum number of patients to be able to receive these therapies. All that sounds great, right? But to get to these therapies at scale, what we've got to do is solve the manufacturing issue that's currently the bottleneck across the entire industry. Now, this is how autologous iPSC therapies are made today. It's very manual processes. Scientists are sitting there looking individually under a microscope saying, okay, this cell colony looks good, that one looks bad. They say things like this cell colony looks fluffy. That is not reproducible, it's not scalable. And then to remove the unwanted cells, they use a plastic pipette tip, scraping away with, in some degrees, 1900s technology to remove all the unwanted cells. This process is inefficient, it's not scalable, and it will never meet the demands and needs of patients all around the world. So what we are doing is using very different approaches that I'll explain in a moment, because these manual approaches lead to also extremely high costs. It can be on the order of $1 million to generate a single cell line with these approaches. So instead of manual manufacturing, Cellino has an optical bioprocess that's driven by an AI pilot system. So the system makes decisions about which cells are good or bad based upon our proprietary machine learning algorithms. And then instead of scraping away with a pipette, we have a laser that can go down to the single cell level and zap and remove any unwanted cells. So what this allows us to do is really shrink the infrastructure required for manufacturing for a patient from one whole clean room individually for each patient to a cassette like this one. This is a Cellino Nebula cassette that holds about 10 million cells for a patient dose. And what this allows us to do is this is your cells, your cure inside of a closed system. So all of the cell management, the liquid handling, the laser process, all of that happens inside one of these cassettes. So what this allows us to do is parallelize manufacturing for potentially hundreds or thousands of patients in a single facility. And this will help us to bring down the cost of manufacturing for personalized cell therapies by an order of magnitude, if not more. Now, we like to say at Cellino that our scientists are in the loop, not in the lab. We do have some people pop into the lab, but what you can see here is, for example, this is Catherine, one of our skilled biologists, and she's sitting at her computer reviewing data from the AI pilot system. So our scientists can log into this proprietary platform that we've built and say, okay, I agree with this data, or maybe I want to make a little change in the AI pilot system. So what this allows us to do is really move from the traditional way. So a very highly skilled stem cell scientist can traditionally manage about 20 cell clones per week. But with our autonomous system, we've already been able to 17x that. So they're moving toward 340 cell lines per week and counting. So what this lets us do is unlock creativity, unlock efficiency for scientists to focus on high-level critical thinking work, not manual pipetting. Now, we are really excited to build a global network of regenerative medicine foundries, and we're starting that right here in Boston through our collaboration with the Mass General Brigham Genes and Cell Therapy Institute. So we're going to build the world's first autonomous iPSC foundry right at Mass General Hospital. And the first clinical application there is working with Dr. Jeffrey Schweitzer, who's a neurosurgeon, and will be working on iPSC-derived dopaminergic neurons for Parkinson's. We've also got some other collaborations announced with Matriself on spinal cord injury, as well as with Caris Bio, who I actually met with 2 years ago during an MIT ILP trip to Japan and South Korea. And they are working on cardiovascular disease. So from a partnership perspective, we are interested in collaborating with any companies working in the personalized cell therapy space, especially using induced pluripotent stem cells. And we're relatively a therapeutic area and disease agnostic, really looking at chronic degenerative conditions. Thank you so much. Really appreciate everyone's time today.